How's it going, everybody? This is Zach, and I'm back with another conversation. Today, I want to kind of start a small little series type thing on this channel. And as you can see on the screen and in the video title, it's about girls. Um, Now, I want to talk. There has been four girls or women in my life who I can say I have had a almost like romantic infatuation with. I don't know if infatuation's the right word, but people who I have actually gone after. Like, I've had plenty of crushes in the past, um, but like I'm sure everyone has, but not people who you actively went after or tried to get to know in meaningful ways. So I've had four girls that I can think of that have really like pushed away from the idea of a crush, and I just kind of want to talk about it. It's gonna be a throwback for me. It's gonna be there's a few interesting ones in here, so I think it's gonna be fun to talk about. So to start off, I I never really got huge crushes on girls until I was in high school. I wasn't super interested. However, the girl that I'm talking about today is a middle school crush that I kind of went after. I'll tell you up front, it did not happen. It did not end out well for me, but that's all right. You gotta get through some things like that. But this was a middle school one. But I really, in general, didn't find interest in women until um, high school. Um, this being an outsider, so I guess we'll start. Like I had crushes up to that point, but they were never serious. Like it, I never attempted to go after anyone or anything like that until kind of late into schooling. But this girl was someone I met in my classes. I'm not gonna say names. Um, I guess I could come up with a name. Never mind. That would probably just confuse myself. We're talking about girl number one. That's who we're talking about here. And so this girl I met, we had a lot of art classes together, and we had the same gym course. And I met her through those classes, and we just kind of became good friends after a few weeks of school. And now, before this girl, I think this was really outside of preschool. This was the first friend that I had who was a girl. I had always hung out with boys, and I had always gotten along with them and felt more comfortable around them, which has completely changed. In college now, 80% of my friends are actually girls, which is a big change. There's a lot more drama, but I'll probably get into that in another video. Um, but yeah, so this was really the first um, friend that I would consider to have been a girl in my middle school days. And um, so I was hanging out with her. We would go to class. We'd do that. We would no, actually, how do I want to tell this story? We would. I think the real first step that I did to try and get her to like me, because I wasn't. I'm a pretty shy guy. I'm not as shy anymore, but in middle school I was very shy. I didn't talk to a whole lot of people. I wasn't really socially awkward. It was just a thing where I wouldn't start conversations. I can hold down a conversation if I ever need to, um, and I can contribute to conversations, but I am just a shy person where I'm not going to interject myself with people that I don't really know. So I got to know this girl, and at the time, Facebook was a big thing. I had never gotten Facebook. I had never made an account. I didn't feel like I needed it. I didn't think I would ever use it. And I knew that she was on it. So I decided, you know what? why not? I think we were talking one day in gym class while running around, and she was telling me about Facebook. So that night I went home, made a Facebook account, and the first thing that happened was my sister helped me set up my Facebook account, and she knew about this girl because I would talk about her. And the very first thing she did was friend her. She looked her up. I didn't know what was happening, so I kind of let her take the reins of my computer at the time. And this girl was the first friend on Facebook that my sister added. And I kind of freaked out. I was like, why would you do that? Can she tell that I just made this account? And my sister was like, yeah, you don't have any pictures or anything. And I was like, why would you do that? Um, it was very funny at the time. And I kind of panicked and I quickly tried to throw together and make it look like I've been active on Facebook and that she wasn't my first friend. I started friending everyone I could think to friend just so it wouldn't look like I was going after her as much as I was, as much as I made this account for that reason. It was really funny. And she added me back on Facebook. I don't remember how long it took. And she messaged me and she's like, I see you got a Facebook. And I was like, yeah. So we kind of started a little conversation on Facebook, and it was nice and it was fun and lighthearted. And we were talking, and I used to be I try and make jokes out of situations. I was very awkward with making jokes. They weren't good jokes. I think I would say random things and give random names to people. I remember we had this inside joke where I called her Captain Crunch. I don't remember why or how that got brought up. I'm sure I brought it up because it sounds like something that I would have done back then is just give her the name Captain Crunch, which who wants to date, who the fuck wants to date Captain Crunch? I don't know. And then somehow I got the name Meow Mix, which I don't, that's just a memory that stuck with me. I don't remember why, but I always just remember Captain Crunch and Meow Mix. And, and it makes no sense. But what was I? I was like 12 at the time, I don't know. But so we kind of established some inside jokes and it was good. And I would just see her in the hallways and try and walk around and find her. Not really find her, that's kind of stalkerish. But I would, if I saw her, I would try and catch up with her and say hi and talk about stuff. I used to, somehow, me being the Chad that I am, I managed to get her number. Don't remember how that happened, but good for me. Um, but sometimes after school, I would call her and we would talk on the phone, and it seemed promising. It did. Um, and then after a lot of time, I think the what do we have? It's not semesters in middle school, but basically half of the year was over, like a 3 month span, and she told me that she was moving. And she wasn't moving too far, but in middle school, when someone moves, it's kind of a big deal. Um, because it's not like you have a car or a way of transport or anything like that. She was moving, I think, 4 towns over, so a good hour away. And that kind of upset me, because obviously this was the first girl I was trying to really talk to and get to know. And when everything was going well, she just kind of told me that she was moving away. And I remember one night texting her and we were talking and stuff like that. And I remember letting her know that I was like, I want to tell you something before you go. And she's like, what is it? And I just told her that I liked her. She was like, yeah, I kind of figured. So I kind of got shot down after that. That's not usually something you want to hear after saying something like that. Like, I was hoping that maybe I would get a response like, "Oh, I always liked you too," but no. Instead, I got a, "Yeah, I figured," um, which at the time I didn't think much of it. Now looking back on it, I can clearly see that it was kind of her way of rejecting me. But that's okay. At least I didn't take it that way. I didn't take it like a rejection. Um, but yeah, so she moved away, and we kind of just lost contact. And I stopped talking with her. She stopped talking with me. I think we had a few Facebook conversations um, over the span of a couple months just to finish off the school year. And then it was summer, and I just completely forgot about her until I think midway through the next year. There was a lot of news going around, and this girl, number one, was pregnant. And she was very open about it on social media. So on Facebook, I would see posts about it, and it was very weird because clearly she moved, met a guy, and got pregnant. So I think I don't know if she dropped out of high school. I think she continued through high school, but didn't think about pursuing college because she had to raise her kid now. Um, and I believe that she's been with three different guys since then. The first guy left. Obviously, I don't really know exactly all the details, but it was just a big shock to me when I found out. And all my friends that knew that I liked her at the time, they made a ton of jokes about it. And they started saying that I was a father, which I knew wasn't true. Obviously, I knew wasn't true. I did not get that far. And my friends knew it wasn't true. But it's still one of those middle school jokes like, oh, you knocked her up, blah, blah, blah. And it's kind of funny, but I didn't think it was that funny at the time. I kind of felt weird about the whole situation. It was very weird for me. Um, and they would make these jokes, and I would just kind of brush them off and like joke back with them. But it was kind of annoying after a while. But it did end up stopping. It went a good 2 years into high school of people making these jokes, but after a while, finally stopped. People forgot about her because she moved away, and I just kind of moved on. Well, I moved on immediately, but that joke kind of haunted me for a while, and that was that. Um, Now to this day, I don't really know. I still have her friended on Facebook. I think I still have some of my conversations saved, so I could always go back through and look at those, which I bet were pretty funny. I bet I might be able to find where the whole Meow Mix and Captain Crunch came from, but I don't know. But yeah, after that, I think all that joking around really put me away from girls for a while. I wasn't really interested in relationships or anything like that throughout high school. Senior year, I did start to get back into it, into talking with women and trying to start something. But this first girl really threw me for a loop where it was just a weird way to end it with the knowledge that I knew, and it just kind of disturbed me, and I stopped really talking with women or doing anything like that. I had a bunch of good high school friends that I would hang out with. I didn't really feel like I needed a girlfriend or anything to come in between me and them. So I just didn't really care for women after this point, after this girl. Um, but yeah, I guess that's really all I have to say about this one. It's an interesting story that I wanted to talk about, and I don't know when I'll do the next part of this series. It'll probably be pretty soon, but yeah, I hope you all enjoyed and have a good one.